Drive Them Back to Darkness. It's another song that we use some cinematic samples in it. It really is a journey tune, a proper Goldfish journey tune, and really adds to the general vibe of the 3 Second Memory album, of it being like something that you could pop in the car and go for a long drive. And Dom's got a great solo on the Fender Rhodes, which is an electric piano, and I do a saxophone solo in there, and
it's also got like a Doors influence as well. We're huge fans of the Doors, all that kind of, you know, that old retro kind of stuff. It was kind of also like the smash of two genres. We were jazz musicians, so it's got that jazzy feel, but then we kind of put like almost like rolling techno beats underneath it, so you can kind of just get into like the zone and, you know, drive somewhere and, you know, arrive somewhere without realizing how you got there. Take Back Tomorrow. This was like another one of those Goldfish tracks which has got like a emotive song title.
I think, you know, we end up doing this like lyrically because when we create the music and the instrumental parts, we always make like sort of semi-uplifting music, and I think the lyrics just naturally flow into that direction of being aspirational and being maybe just a little reminder, you know, take back tomorrow, get your head off your pillow, and life happens so fast and everything's going on so much that if you forget about it, things just pass you by.
We wrote it and Dave did the demo vocal, and we had a couple of vocalists in mind we wanted to try out, and it's just they weren't working, and both of the demo vocalists had said, you know what, the demo actually sounds really good, you know, maybe Dave should sing it, and we were like, okay. So we re-recorded it with Dave singing it, and we still couldn't actually capture the energy of his demo vocal, which he'd done with like no headphones, holding the piece of paper just as he'd finished, you know, writing the lyrics. And you know, it's like not a technically perfect recording, but the energy and the vibe was there. And so we just ended up using that on the track, and now you'll know.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, we have something special down here at Birdland this evening. A recording for Blue Note Records.
So, Cantaloupe, Flip Fantasia by Us Three, the Goldfish remix. The first time we're putting a remix on one of our albums, and
yeah, it's just a track that, you know, had been part of our lives for so long. I mean, when I was 13, I remember hearing Cantaloupe. It was like this jazzy song with like rapping, and you know, we learned it and we played it in our jazz bands and knew it for years. It was like 20 years ago that we first, you know, it first came out.
So it was kind of like a natural thing for us to go, wow, let's do this song, let's do a remix of it, and really do something that we can update it and put it in the clubs where we're playing for our shows and that. And we did it, you know, a couple of years back, and we've been playing it here and there. And out of the blue, we got this email from Jeff Wilkinson from Us Three, and
he just said, like, I heard about you guys, you do like jazzy dance music, it's the 20-year anniversary of the track, would you like to do a remix?
So yeah, we just emailed him the remix straight back, like two minutes later, and like, then obviously got a message back from him a few minutes later going, what the hell? How did you do
guys work fast.
And you know, and then it was on, and we went back into the studio to really like polish it up, and the most exciting part was then he was like, do you want the separates? Because obviously we just used the stereo file for the original remix, and of course we said yes. So he said, well, have to go and get them off 2-inch tape firstly. So it took a few weeks, and we got this little link of all these separates, and that really was incredible.
Yeah,
to get
all the
that
vocals, all the rappers, like bitty bitty bop. Funky, funky. Yeah, it was cool.
We really wanted to create an album which was an album, and that had chapters, had parts, and the whole thing made sense, almost like a series where each song is like an episode and tells a small story of a bigger picture.
People also speak about the death of the album as well. You know, it's become like a single-driven world. I like this track by this band, I like this track by this band, but, you know, I kind of miss that book feeling of when an artist that you love brings out an album and it's got chapters, you know, and they only make sense together, not just as this little blip like a single, and then you don't really listen to the rest of the album because you're not really interested in it. And we really try to make, you know, 12 tracks or 11 or 12 tracks which make sense together, and you know, you can kind of get lost in, you know, Goldfish land for a while.